More than friends, less than lovers, pals. Oh yeah.
It's a wonderful day to be a pal, a wonderful day for a pal. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my pal? Hey there, pals. Welcome.
Welcome. Absolutely thrilled to have you here with us.
Did that just put you in a good mood?
Because it put us in a fantastic mood.
We have sung that about 7 times this morning, and we were like, the energy in here is amazing.
Through the roof!
Cannot imagine what it was like on that Mr. Rogers set.
That must have been absolutely electric, but in like an undercurrent soft kind
Yeah,
of way.
just like internal, spiritually electric.
The kind of electric that makes your heartbeat go the right pace.
Exactly right pace.
I like to think that everybody on that set had like incredible heart health.
Yeah, they lived all at least till 98.
All of the doctors that like would come in on set and do physicals, because I'm imagining that Mr. Rogers was like, no, and we have a doctor that comes on set and makes sure everybody's healthy.
Yeah.
And the doctor goes around with a stethoscope and is like, my God, all of your hearts are in sync.
Your hearts are exactly to the rhythm of the opening theme song.
That's amazing.
Now, Millicent, why are we singing this song?
And why are we, for our audio listeners, why are we wearing sweaters?
Yeah, we came in here, we did the whole Mr. Rogers thing where we put the cardigans on, we took our shoes off. It was really fun. So get yourself to YouTube to watch that.
Quick, run! Sorry, guys, we're calm today. Everything's really actually
We're in the
beautiful.
Mr. Rogers mindset because, weirdly enough, I had actually talked to you about this idea earlier, and then we ended up finding an article. Yeah, it's our first article episode, you guys.
Yeah, guys, we have source material.
We're readers this week.
Is it an op-ed and not necessarily a study? Yeah, it's an op-ed.
Yeah, it's an opinion piece. But we, on the Washington Post, it's a piece by Allison Raskin.
Love you, girl.
Love you. And the piece is titled, Won't You Be Mine? Could You Be Mine? Won't You Be My Friend? Which is also very funny because if you haven't noticed at this point, our social media handle is at Won't You Be My Pal, which is also inspired by Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
But this article is something that we kind of have been wanting to talk about, which is treating your friends like family.
Finding a way to shift the mindset from this is just a run-of-the-mill friendship. It's just, whatever friendship is, that's what I'm sticking with.
I see them. We catch up for coffee every once in a while.
Taking it to that next level. And I know that most of our podcast is about the idea of taking your friendships to the next level.
Isn't that what everything's been about? But
yeah, it is. Yeah. But this is more so, this article was a really interesting just take on ways to do that. Also just a commentary on society and what we think what Allison thinks could have maybe led things astray or what could have influenced us in the wrong way. And so we loved it.
One of the things that we really like about this article is that she really encourages, herself, but people reading it, to take charge of your own friendships. If you feel like you want to be more involved in your friends' lives, that starts with you. That starts with you putting yourself into your friends' lives.
Yeah.
However you choose to do that, we're going to give you a few suggestions.
Give you a few little pointers. One of the things I also really liked in the article is she talks a little bit about, her sister. She has a very extroverted sister who she says, I could be comparing myself to her or wondering what is it that my sister has that I don't have. But instead, to be kinder to myself and also to think with a growth mindset rather than okay, I'm just stuck like this, thinking, okay, well, what can I actually change to get more like that and to do it in my own way that feels authentic to me.
And she starts by the neighbor aspect comes into it because she starts by saying a relationship that she started to develop. She lives in Los Angeles, so this is good for people who live in a city
Allison,
and don't.
let's hang.
Hey, Allison, where are you? But I think a lot of times in a city like this, where we don't have necessarily the same neighborhood structure, suburbia structure that you have maybe in smaller towns, it's a little harder to connect in a neighborly way with people sometimes. So she starts by saying she really loves this dynamic her and her neighbor have now, where it's like, if I need something for cooking, or if she's at the grocery store, we just pick things up for each other and stuff like that. It's very communal. It's very familial. It's very like sisterly, I think. Yeah. Which is something that I think we've really enjoyed with our friends, and that's what really spoke to us about this.
And frankly, when we moved to Burbank, to our version of suburbia, to our suburban heaven, when we first got here, one of the highlights of that was the first time we met one of our next door neighbors, which was just, we were outside putting spider webs on our bushes. And sure enough, over the hedge, we literally just hear, hello.
Isn't that classic?
As we're spreading, we're both wearing our Tommy Bahamas. We were really just, and it was a really cool moment of like, we want this. This is like one of the reasons that we wanted to kind of step out of the city a little bit more. And I just, it's such a wonderful feeling, but also it is really hard to cross that barrier.
And I think with that, she talks a lot about how do I get that level of like comfort and casualty with my friends that might live like 50 minutes away or something like that, where it's like, it feels like whenever we catch up, it's only to hang out. Yeah. And I think that when we moved here, not a lot of our friends live in this area. And so it did become a little bit more of an intentional time that we had to put out for our friends. So this is the quote from the article that I think is a good little tagline for it. If I want close family level friendships, I need to act as if I'm already in them. And that is something that I feel like you and I have really tried to do within our lives. And I think my big takeaway from this article was I really like that it takes friendship seriously, but I also really enjoy that it makes you take it into your own hands of be the change, be the person that you want in your life as a friend, which means maybe if you're going over to a friend's house, say, hey, do you need anything? I'm going to the grocery store. Can I pick that up? Which our friends are, quite frankly, very good at.
Really good at. We have a friend, Gabby, who I would say 90% of the time that she is showing up to our houses for bimbos on Thursdays, she knows that I like Diet Coke. She knows that odds are and she will show up and she will have a Diet Coke with her. And it's as simple as like, I'm pretty sure it's in the fridge at her work and she just grabs one. And it's such a simple thing that truly makes it's such a simple way to tell somebody that you love them or that you care about them.
And you know a little something about them.
Yes. And it's so beautiful. And in terms of the, act like it. If you want those friendships that are deeper, start acting like it. It really is the fake it till you make it mindset.
Yeah.
And like, you know what? Sometimes, and maybe don't fake it too hard. Don't fake it too hard because I've been there. I'll just dive in head first.
Yeah.
Let's just go. Let's go. Let's hit it. Let's hit the ground running, baby. Let's go.
Blood pact. Let's go. But I think that is a valuable part of friendship is feeling like somebody is putting in effort for you in the minute ways. Yeah. And if I may, because I think the article, she's going to be a thread throughout this. We'll return to her. If I may talk about what brought this on for us was this weekend, our dear Jillian became a green belt. Green belt? No.
Yes, no, because she came a
blue
belt.
She
was a green belt with the stripe.
And Taekwondo. And so we had, last time we were at her house, been like, you have to tell us next time you're having a belting ceremony. And she was like, okay. So she texted us and was like, hey, because you guys told me to tell you I am getting a new belt. And we said.
And Jillian's not close, mind you. Jillian's like away.
She's about an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
In the middle of the day. So, but we were like, of course.
Yes, and we
want to come. Which again, I think just really, it felt like as if my little cousin was getting an award, and obviously they're within an hour. I'm gonna go. Like I'm gonna go see that.
Well,
that's a big
even
deal
the example
for them.
of 2 weeks ago. Your cousin was in town.
My cousin wasn't down. And I did go see his baseball
playing a baseball game, and it was like, if you can, why would you not? And that's the mindset with family of like, if your family's within like our families are about 3,000 miles away, right? So if there's anyone,
I'm impressed you knew that.
I only know that because of it was some.
Wow.
I think I had gotten my mom and I coordinates necklaces when I moved. And so I looked
so
it
you're
up.
Counting the miles.
Yeah.
Got it.
But then she moved. And so I was like, and
now
then we
it's all
moved
off.
again.
Yes.
So it was like, okay.
It's a mess.
But whenever, if a family member for us is within 2 hours, even 3, like, it's like, we're going to make the effort because that's our family. And it's that mindset of course I would.
Yeah.
So it's just adopting that with a friend of like, our friend has this thing where she has achieved something, she's worked for something, and she's being recognized for it.
We're gonna go.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
And we're gonna have a great time. Guys, let's paint the picture here, okay? And Jillian did warn us. She's not in a class with children, but the ceremonies are not like your specific class. They're a bunch
it's like
of
the
people.
levels that you're in.
Yeah.
So she is in an adult class, but she is the she will say this, like she is the lowest
just
belt
started.
in that class. Yeah.
So she's working her way up.
Yeah.
So we get there, and it's mostly children that she's testing with. They do
It's
this,
all
like,
children
group
except for
except for one guy, but everybody else is a child. Okay. So
First of all, no shoes. No shoes on the mat.
And then she was like, you only have to bow a couple of times. And we were like,
a couple?
And she was like, it's just a respect thing. And we're like,
we don't want to be
disrespectful.
disrespectful. She was like, well,
Please
you guys
tell
don't
us.
really have to. Like, it is. And we were like, well,
But we want to do
tell
it
us.
right.
If I walk in here and I don't bow and I don't know when to bow, and somebody were to be like, they don't respect
is the man
dojo.
with the masonry tattooed on his face gonna be mad? Because that's her instructor. So we walked in. We made sure that we were doing all the
bowing.
respectful things.
Yeah. Pro tip: take your sunglasses off your head while you're bowing, because otherwise they're going to slip and you're going to get worried.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
So we get in there. She's in the zone. We're sitting on either side. It's us and every parent there.
Every parent.
Every
They're all
parent
holding
for
up
a
their
child.
iPhones, and we're all
And
holding up
we
our
are
phones.
holding up ours. It was so exciting. First of all, Millicent and I are just born to be ants. So that's truly what is the heart of it. And I think what really added to the family factor of this is our friend Sabrina is also staying with Jillian currently, which again was another beautiful family thing that happened where she needed a place to crash for a couple nights, and Jillian was like, I have a free room till my roommate moves in.
Yeah.
And then we didn't even know, like we literally were like, hey,
It was
we're
like a
coming down from
pleasant
the belting,
surprise.
and Jillian was like, Sabrina's here. And we were like,
Oh yeah, we'll all go get dinner after the belting ceremony. Oh, you mean my dream?
ideal. So of course we didn't even show up. Sabrina's been busy doing work. We show up, then Sabrina shows up. So all the aunties are here. Like,
Yeah. We're all on the side. And we were at first a little bit stressed because she was on a dot. Like, they all have like their dots.
she was a
and they're all
dot far
sitting.
away from us.
We were getting a little bit stressed out, but then she did get moved, I think, because she was again taller than
height-wise.
most of the class.
Yeah, you put the little kids in the front.
But it was so exciting because, one, when we got to her place, she like can walk there from her apartment. She's like, I need to practice my form. And so she's doing like I don't know the right words, but she's doing them, and we're in the living room just.
It's fun to watch.
It was really fun. I think this was. Obviously, I always understood that it is like an art form because it's called martial arts. But watching it truly, I was like, I understand why it's called martial arts.
It's kind of a dance.
It really is. And it's, and so we get there. All the kids are lined up. They're in their rows. Jillian's there. She's at the beginning. She's like closing her eyes and concentrating, and we're just watching.
We're
her
trying
like,
so hard not to distract
that
her.
wooden board has absolutely no idea what's coming.
It is about to be ripped in half by 5 toes belonging to that woman.
And she's got long toes. I'll say it. She would say it. She would say it.
Don't say that on the mic. Don't call her out like that.
I think it's probably, honestly, I think for
probably
her,
skill.
it's probably really
she can
good.
use them very well too.
Yeah.
She can pick things up. Anyway, so we're there. And I don't want to say an essential part of, she does great. I'll say that
Of course
first
she
before
does.
we move on.
If Jillian's going to do anything, she's going to do it really well.
She's going to do it probably the best.
I would say that we snapped into the mindset of being parents really fast.
We were
Yeah.
We were in there. We were sideline coaching.
Also, so the kids are all lining up, and the instructor, Jillian had informed us, it's the guy, he has like Maddie said, he has a Freemason tattoo on one cheek. He's got like
Just cover.
Illuminati stuff
Yeah.
on his arms,
Yeah.
but just very friendly. And the way that he commanded that room, it was very impressive, one. And two, you could tell, based on some of the children in the class, that there were some kids who maybe somebody said to their parent, hey, you should maybe sign them up for Taekwondo. I think some order would be good for them.
So while we're being the proud parents that it's really getting to go to a Jillian event feels like you are those parents that, there's some parents where you're just like, I feel like barely had to parent because your kid just kind of was a parent. All right. Like your kid did everything and is just impressive. And you get to be like, that's my kid. That's how it felt being there for Jillian, where we were like, that's ours. That one's ours.
We didn't do a dang thing to make her this way. She popped out like that.
She's just amazing. But then there were some other parents there that just really, I think a crucial part about treating your friends like family is bringing the family aspect of,
And our kids.
there's somebody that you're not really going to love all the time.
And there are some other parents
There's
that
some
maybe you're
enemies.
going to judge. I understood mom judgment in that moment because I was like, yeah, I'm judging some of these parents in here because I'll tell you what, there's a kid, we'll call him David.
I was gonna say, let's pick a different name. David is perfect. Oh my God. Sorry, Dad.
Sorry,
let's call him Henry. Oh no,
we know a Henry.
Oh,
Okay, Philip.
Philip. Okay.
That's okay. It's okay.
Philip.
I feel like I kind of
Philip's not hitting.
No.
Let's go. How about
Devin.
Devin. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good. He had a real Devin
Devin.
vibe about him.
I will say some of the most beautiful hair I've ever seen on a child, though.
Yes. And okay,
Long.
and, this is the disclaimer, right? Because we're treating our friends like family. We're treating you like family.
Okay.
Which means we have a spoken understanding that we could find the absolute good and beauty in that child. And I'm sure if we spent a day with him, we'd be like, we believe in you, Devin. We could find the humanity.
But here's the thing. He's not ours.
And we are family.
And
Which
at the end of the
means-
day, there are certain behaviors that are hard to let slide.
And at the end of the day, it's important for families to have villains.
Yes.
To have an outsider that you all go, oh, I don't know about that guy.
It's like when you played basketball and your parents, like there'd be somebody either on your team that maybe,
Yep.
for me, was stealing the ball from you.
Yep.
On your own team.
There's
or-
always one kid. Yeah.
I did have the ball stolen. There was a home video of me fully someone on my own basketball team taking the ball from me, which, let's be clear, she scored. I wasn't gonna.
Photos of me playing basketball. I only played one season. I was wearing my brother's blue shorts up to my chest. So high. Yellow t-shirt tucked in. No one was stealing the ball from me because I didn't ever have the ball.
I named the basketball that we would practice with. No, I'll tell you this. I was never going to be good at basketball, but I was going to bring the vibes.
Oh, absolutely.
The way that my mom got me into organized sports, softball was the first one. She said, they do chants in the dugout. And
You
I
were
was like,
I can clap?
she
in
was like,
sync?
you can make up chants. You can like whatever. And I was like,
The way that your mom knows.
Sign
She
me up.
has got
Sign me
your
up.
number.
put my name on the list.
So we're there, and we've created an anime. Okay.
He created it himself.
Yeah. Okay. So this kid comes in. He's barely kicking above belt line.
Which we learned that's very important.
If it's the test, you guys. This isn't class. This is
And-
the belting test.
And the instructor literally said, hey guys, I am not expecting perfect form.
No.
I'm not even expecting
He was
you to
being
have it
very
memorized."
generous.
Honestly, too generous. We were getting a little bit upset. We were
Jillian said she does wish that they were a little harder.
But he said most of it is spirit. It's
Spirit.
that it's when you do that. I can't remember the word that they
There is
called
a
it.
word for
but
it.
in karate, martial arts, when they say, and it's like the classic haya, like that's part of it.
a
Like
part
you're
of it.
supposed to kind of have this thrust.
And
that you're
Milsa
putting
and I
out.
both went,
It's all about
spirit. We could crush this.
Okay, color me black belt. If it's spirit based, yeah,
I'm top tier, honey.
I'm getting on that mat. People are dying.
People are bowing at me, which we did learn. If there's a black belt present,
There was
Mia-
a black belt
Sorry,
present.
we are calling her by name.
that's
We've
because
got this
she's
little
a
girl-
star!
She rocked. This little girl that came in, black uniform, black belt, and we learned that when everyone's bowing, because you bow at the beginning, you bow to the master. Then everyone turns and bows to the black belt. So everyone turning and bowing to this 10-year-old girl was like,
We had chills.
no, literally, I
We
was
had
like,
chills.
and when because you do an individual part of your test, and when she started doing hers, we were like, go off, queen.
You could
hitting
really
them
see that.
moves.
Yeah, it was really amazing. And then there was also a fun moment too, because in the same way that you pick a villain, we also very quickly picked not a favorite, but somebody that we also were like, we're going to talk about her later because she's a blast.
She came stumbling in 5
Literally
minutes late.
stumbling.
Literally stumbling in, and it was that the whole time.
Chaos. Every time that they would do a move, if the whole class is
And
going,
she's probably
ha!
She's probably 5.
Yeah. The whole class is going like, ha! She's like a half step behind them, like, ah! Like right at the end. It was
So
adorable.
cute. So we have an enemy in this place. Devin.
And it was pretty clear from the start he was going to be a little bit of an issue.
He was giving everyone in this class was like into it. They're giving their biggest effort.
Yeah.
This is their testing day.
Even frankly, the kids that maybe didn't have the skill, but they did have the
They
spirit.
had the spirit.
And the instructor was, again, you could really tell this is the kind of activity that you want your kids to be doing if maybe they have a little bit of a harder time focusing, if they have a little bit of a harder time.
Because it really commands
with
your
discipline.
attention.
Yeah. And the instructor would be very proactive about, he was really, if he wasn't calling them out, but he really would be like, all right, remember to kick higher, so-and-so.
So he would say that to Devin. He would be like, Devin, remember, you gotta be kicking above the belt line.
And then Devin would be spinning in circles on his stot. Devin would be...
He just, again, guys, it was the lack of effort for me.
Because
Where it was everybody else, here, him, didn't care.
No.
Again,
Everyone
long,
else's
curly
kicks,
red hair,
again,
beautiful,
all
but
the way up. His kicks...
nothing. And the instructor multiple times was like, hands up. I'll beep that out.
We're going to
I
bleep
said
that
his real
out.
name.
Wow.
Hands up, Devin.
And also the whole time, we don't know whose parents are whose
You don't know who's
around the line.
We're
okay?
trying to guess. This is what really sent us over is when because then people are when people are kicking their boards,
Yeah.
everyone sits down to watch.
You all go and sit down with your parents or wherever. So everybody else
Julia
is
did not
sitting...
sit with us.
No, she did not. Which is fair
Fair.
because we would have instantly started distracting her.
Yeah.
So all the kids kind of go over and they're sitting like in front of their parents or whatever. Devin goes over, like gets onto his father's lap, okay? And in that moment we knew. We got the whole picture. First of all, father
You
is
understood
wearing
someone's full backstory.
Yes. Father is wearing more bracelets than I've actually ever seen. On
Older too.
Like
They're
yeah,
both like
and
a
they're
little bit older parents. Clearly money.
It's the kind of bracelets that it's like that stack probably cost $3,000, all the way up his arms, rings on every finger, and he's like hugging him, right? And at first you're like, that's really sweet, you know. Kids like that probably do need a lot of extra love and support and attention. You want to tell him what he was doing? Because this was when we really decided, no, we hate this kid. And you know what? We got beef with your parents. Never mind. Take it back. Beef with the kid, hate the parents.
It was just on those parents that you were like, I
2 weeks
know,
in a row I've said I hate a kid.
I
love
it was a
kids.
hypothetical kid last week. It was one of those parents that I know, like they were the kind that if you saw in public, you would be like, their kid would be biting someone, and you'd be like, that's just how they are. And you'd be like, that's your job.
Yeah.
That's your job to tell your kid not to bite people. And so when people were going up for their board kicking,
This was very serious, by the way.
very serious.
We were like holding our breath.
and cool,
I
and
was
they all do like different. Some people were doing these jump kicks. It was crazy.
Yeah,
It was
he'd just be like,
so
okay,
fun.
you have to do a flying
You're
side
gonna
kick.
jump over
You
this
have to do-
barrel to kick this thing.
When
Anyway.
they brought out the barrel for a kid to jump over, I was like, that feels not fair. The other kids are getting to just kind of do. We learned the axe kick is kind of the easiest for breaking the board.
And so
Anyways.
I'll beep it out again. I keep saying his name, Devin.
They're going to read your lips. You have to blur your lips. They're going to know.
I just want to say his name with anger.
I know.
He's sitting on his father's lap, his papa's lap. Someone tries to kick the board, and again, some of these kids are little, like young,
little.
and they give them thin boards, but they don't. They're learning these kicks, and so sometimes they would take a couple kicks to get it. Oh, every time I just really hate saying. I just wanna say his
Devin.
name. Devin giggles.
He literally like giggles. And you know what the craziest thing is?
Someone misses, he giggles.
If my kid was sitting on my lap and I heard them giggle at another child having a hard time, do you think I wouldn't kind of like not hurt? I'm like, no, I would kind of pinch him a little and I'd be like, we don't do that. We don't do that.
It'd be a learning moment for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Because I'll
So
tell you what,
Devin's
there would be
parents-
one giggle and then there would not be any more giggles. There would be one giggle and the other parents in the room would see that Devin has been taught a little lesson quietly in his ear.
So I heard one giggle, right?
I think surely that'll be the last, right?
I hear a second giggle. I look up and see that it's coming from Devin.
Again.
Then
and
I see his dad smiling.
Thinking, oh, my son's so funny, so cute. No, your son is a little
Is a
rat.
menace. A menace.
And you know what really got us? When our favorite girl went up, and she struggled that first time. When I tell you, my butt cheeks were clenched this whole time because I was like, she's got to break the board. She's got to. So the instructor goes over for the first time to get with her, and she has a little bit of a breakdown. She gets a little scared.
Pretty
And I'm going to
quickly.
be honest, because once we saw her try that first kick on it, and it was literally kind of like and they were like, okay, so like maybe just.
I want this to be known too. She's pretty high up in the belting.
Yes, I think she belted higher than Jillian that
She kicked a lot of wood boards. I think it just was. She kicked it. She got overwhelmed. She ran out and cried for a little bit.
Yeah, her mom comforted her, but then she
Fair.
came back, and John was watching it. When I tell you I was ready to lunge across that room, go up to that father, get in the father's ear, and go, if you don't control your son, I will.
We're going. Let's wrestle.
Because I babysat a lot growing up. His parents, to paint you a picture, feel like the kind of parents that go by that, we actually never say no. That's our parenting methodology. We never say no. That it feels like that. Or the kind of parents that would be like, oh, and if he asks to eat anything or watch anything or bedtime, like he can kind of just do whatever he wants. And you're like, as a babysitter, I would be like, oh, so I'm about to have the worst 4 hours of my life. That's what's about to happen.
So that's like, we had an enemy, which,
she broke the board, by the way. She did break the board.
She broke the board.
Took her 4 tries.
So we got to, one, celebrate our friend in a communal way. We went out to dinner afterwards in the way that you would when your grandparents came to your choral concerts, and you'd go to the Cozy, and that was the nasty restaurant we would go to after our things. They had a museum for Camp David. Why? It was weird.
That's what you got on the
East Obama Coast. Wall was weird. It had some undertones. So in that way, it was bad. So we go to dinner, and then to get to just talk about Jillian's success.
Yeah.
And this other kid that we hated. I'm sure I'll put it up. Sabrina drew a beautiful painting of him in her Tesla.
Yeah.
Out of anger.
And I'd be lying if I said we were not texting petty things about this child during the test. Maddie texted first and said, I'm worried about Devin, because at first it was just kind of, I feel like he might get kicked out.
It felt like maybe he didn't sleep well the night before, because he just was kind of like not giving any effort, so we didn't really know what was going on. And then it was when it was realized that he's just a little rascal.
Yeah, but not in a fun way.
Not in a fun way.
Not in a fun way, okay?
That is me.
Yeah, she's our little
That's
rascal.
my Jersey Shore name, if anyone's wondering. The Rascal.
It was also, though, I think that we felt very parental in that moment, too, because I would say within 10 minutes, mind you, again, Jillian is the only adult in the classroom. The way we were so earnestly leaning over to each other and going, okay, but she's got the best form in
Yeah, we were like, well, our child's behaving.
We were like, she is by
Look
far
at
the
those
best in this
kegs.
class.
Yeah.
Again, 10-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that, and I think maybe it's a good time for the challenge.
I think so too, but you get the idea. You get the concept of this is the thing that families would usually go to, and we said, no, we're going,
and we're putting our whole hearts into it.
And the way that they would have them, they'd say, all right, bow to the instructor, bow to the like co-instructor, bow to the like back of the room where the picture of the headmaster is, bow to your families,
and we got to bow back. Oh, the number of times Millicent and I were going, as we were sitting here watching this pretty silent room, everyone's listening very intently to the men with face tattoos. We're going, this rocks, this rocks, this rocks, this rocks.
No, this is incredible.
So
and we found out, surprise, Jillian got a trophy that day.
Oh yeah, she got a trophy.
Huge. Oh, because she was, and they really when they announced, when they were going over the laws of a black belt and the respect and the dignity and everything. We're sitting there and we're like, this is good for them to be learning. Yeah. Devin, are you listening?
Devin, respect,
dignity. Okay.
So the challenge this week.
Because last week you guys didn't get any homework. We realized that.
Yeah, teacher forgot.
But also it was a chill episode last week. So we're back on the clock. Homework. So get out your notebooks.
So your challenge this week is to kind of reframe your thinking of your friends and start to think of them as family. Okay? So do something this week that feels communal, which is outside of the standard, let's get coffee and catch up.
Yeah.
This might be doing a favor.
Act as if you are already caught up, in a sense.
Act as if you're already caught up. Yeah. Get if you're going to the grocery store, hey, can I get something for you? What were the other examples?
If they have, maybe you work from home, maybe bringing them dinner sometime and being like, let's have dinner together. If they work at an office and you work from home, being like, hey, let's do lunch.
Maybe texting them if you see something that reminds you of them in a store, say, haha, I think you would love this.
And maybe you're hearing this and you're like, I already do that.
Great.
Take it up a notch. Then.
Yeah.
Take it up a notch. Be like, hey, I'm at the I think at that point the grocery store thing is really interesting when she brought that up in the article about just saying, hey, I'm at the grocery store, do you need anything? And that almost feeling like, well, no, I don't need, well, actually I am out of salt in the article, and being like, well, I'm not going to go to the grocery store just to get salt. It's the idea of allowing your friend to bless you and allowing somebody to step up and help you, and that instantly is going to create that bond, but also offering the help as well.
I think that's a big factor of this is letting people into your lives in that way too. So if you're hearing this and you are the person that often turns down help like that, let somebody do that for you. If someone's like, hey, you want to borrow this book? Borrow that book.
Yeah.
Because it really just adds those small ties are really what binds us together in such a beautiful way. And I think it's another part of the article that I think really resonated with us, that you and I, when we were talking about this conversation, honestly, before I'd even read the full article, we were talking about this, where it feels like we were very much raised by a generation of women who were in the workforce and were being told that independence for women is everything and that it's empowering. And it is. It really is. But I think sometimes we can let that be taken to a degree that we forget a thing that I think women are very good at, which is community, and that we let that independence get in the way of building that community and helping each other out. And I think to be able to just let somebody help you, and I know we've said it before, but will you please say the thing that your mom says again, because I think it is just such a beautiful sentiment about what helping others and letting others help you can do for you.
My mom has always been really good about stepping up and really, she will organize the food trains and she will help if something is needed. But something that I have witnessed her say before, and I don't know if it was her mom who would say it, but offering somebody something, and if they kind of push back on it a little bit.
Say, no, I'm good.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm okay.
No, don't worry about it.
Okay, whatever, don't worry about it. My mom would then say, please do not deprive me of the blessing of getting to help you. Please don't deprive me of the blessing of giving you something. Or if it was something where, oh, don't worry about picking up the tab or anything. And it was just like, well, this is, to me, reshaping, like, serving your friends as it being a privilege to get to step up and to join somebody in their life, even if it is something as small as a grocery trip or as small as a quick meal. That is how you become a part of their everyday life, and it is an honor to get to stand up with other people and to help them. And
I mean, that's something that when we started the Bimbos was something, when I went home, the first full year we had Bimbos, because Bimbos essentially started on a Christmas, but then the next year we had a full year of building this group and getting to know all these beautiful people. And I remember going home for Christmas and telling my family that I was so proud of this group, and the most proud I had felt to that date of this group wasn't just that we had a consistent group of people that were hanging out. It was when Christmas rolled around, we have a couple friends that have dogs, and they messaged in the Bimbos group chat and just said, hey, is anybody able to walk my dogs on these days? Anybody that's going to be staying in LA for Christmas? And multiple people stepped up. It was also people that weren't necessarily the closest in the group. And it was very cool to just see that community and those ties building in a way that, so we just have so many people in the group chat that'll just be like, hey, I need help with this or I need help with that. And it's so fun for people to get to volunteer and get to help each other. And it's a joy to be the person that gets to volunteer and step up.
And that was also really cool too, because it was people again that didn't know each other as well. So then to come back, everybody comes back from Christmas, and it is so funny to then have Bimbos again, and they're seeing each other. And
the dogs are seeing them.
Yeah. And they now have an instantaneous connection, and it really does go both ways, especially something like dog sitting, where it is
it is your
all
benefiting
parties
as
are
well.
benefiting. And I just think that was such a beautiful thing to see of, oh my goodness, these people that really didn't know each other that well, this person has now spent time in the other person's house, and
And shout out to one of our favorite ways that happened. There was a lot of different dog walking that was happening in the group, but our friend Emma had left their dog Luna at our home for our wonderful other roommate Bree to watch, and it was a delight because all Christmas break we were getting pictures of Luna with a glass of wine in front of her, and Bree would say, "Luna and I are kicking back for the night." It was, and we just my favorite part about that wasn't even the picture, was picturing the setup that Bree was going through with the dog.
Oh, and Luna's just and
Luna's vibing.
Oh, we love Luna. We'll have Luna on the pod sometime.
Luna's gonna solve all of our problems on this podcast.
We're just gonna have Luna stare into the camera, and you will start crying.
Yeah, you're gonna learn things about yourself you never know.
But your challenge this week is, it sounds vague, but it's because we want you to
do it how it works for you.
Do it how you want to. Yeah, whatever degree. But if you want your friendships to be deeper, it's only going to go as deep as you're willing to dig. And that's
show up in your friends' lives. And again, if you're like, oh, I'm already doing this, I'm stressed out about this, it could be as simple as a text of something that reminded you of somebody. It doesn't have to be like a 2-hour hang.
Yeah. Or even too, I think something that I struggle with sometimes keeping in touch with people. And I think I occasionally will just be driving and think, I'm just going to send them a quick voice memo. And look, in no part of my brain am I they have to listen right now and they have to respond right now. It is truly I just saw this and it made me think of you. And I just wanted to say I was thinking about XYZ. Just saying anything. I don't know that I can confidently say unless it's literally from a stranger, I have never received a text of somebody saying this made me think of you and been in any way other than, aw,
Yeah.
that made me smile.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Even if it's as simple as thinking of you. Sweet.
Really?
And I think that, and not to be like you have to have a weekly hang, but that definitely did help in terms of getting us past the needing to catch up phase, because
Yeah.
we kind of just get to talk about random stuff now because we do see each other on a more frequent basis. So if you're able to make something like that, some sort of level of communication where maybe it is you are sending catch-up texts that are just like a one paragraph, so that when you're hanging out in person, you can either in a fun way be discussing that or talking about other stuff.
Yeah, skipping to the good stuff. Because it is so hard too when you first kind of sit down with somebody, and we've all been at those hangouts where it's like you haven't seen each other in a minute, and because of that, you're not able to actually talk about what's pertinent and going on in
You're
that
kind of going
moment.
through a grocery list of what's been happening.
You kind of have to hit all the points, and it is just so much better and easy. Like, that's almost small talk to a certain extent, unless it is something where you're like, and I want to talk more in detail about this later. But challenging yourself to, when you are hanging out with your friends, to shift away from the catch up so much and maybe try to incorporate that into the everyday a little bit more.
Yeah. That's our challenge.
That's the challenge. And please do, and we always joke about like writing in and stuff. This is the kind of stuff that truly we want to hear about.
I also want to say, we've had a couple write-ins. I meant to print them out to read today. I did not. Marissa, Alex, we love you both, and we are going to read them on the pod and get back to you.
And Emily. She had emailed a long time ago.
Emily? We have an Emily?
My therapist.
Oh, Emily, yes. We're going to read through those. Maybe next week. Maybe that'll be a big part. It would have been awesome this week if we could have really tied in the Mr. Rogers and had like a mailman come and give us the things. We're
going to get on it, guys.
We're going to get on it. There's going to be a longer Mr. Rogers intro at some point.
Bonus.
This is a bonus story.
Bonus moment. If you're still listening, if you're still here, bonus moment.
Bonus moment.
Not sure if you heard the news, but on August 20th, 2 years to the day,
basically.
which is kind of iconic.
It is fun.
Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce from Ben Affleck.
Affleck.
So you better believe that this morning we headed to Dunkin.
And we wanted to pour one out for our brother Ben, because that man loves Dunkin' Donuts, and it was a fun excuse to go to figure out where our Dunkin' Donuts is.
It was a whole thing, though, and we wanted to share our story because, quite frankly, I would say it was
a journey.
Typically, we do, and maybe this is our lesson, though. We typically do walk for our coffee. I'd say every time we have, we'll go on a walk to either, there's like 3 different options for coffee shops in walking distance, right? This time we had to drive, and Google Maps said, hey, there is a Dunkin'.
I'm going to put the picture up here of where it says this Dunkin' is, because it put the pin in the middle of the freeway. So we're driving in circles around this freeway going,
It says 200 feet away, 100 feet away, and we're going, is the Dunkin' above us?
Is the Dunkin' in us? Is the Dunkin' in the room right now?
We turn around, we're like, it's in the
There's
car.
a giant
2
donut.
Ds.
Yeah.
A D and a D in the back seat. So we then go, okay, we'll go to the other one, which it still was not the one I was thinking of. I don't
Maybe
know.
we never find it.
Yeah. So we do find the Dunkin', which I've never seen that Dunkin'
Never
Donuts
seen this
before.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I
Well, it's
swear
very
it
small.
appeared.
We decide, well, we got to go in. Let's get the full experience. Let's go
Yeah,
in.
especially, and you know what, honestly, for me, made it very clear. It was a drive-through, and I knew instantly, no, we got to go in, because I love the doorknobs outside of the Dunkin' Donuts, the 2 Ds. Like, they're like shaped
This
like...
information was not revealed to me at the time, which is very funny to learn this.
No,
now.
that's what I
They
had
do rock.
clocked, and I was like, we're getting out.
We get M&M doors for the duplex. We should have like our double doors in the front. Should
I
have
thought you meant
M&M.
like you were referencing like M&M World or something.
No,
and I
the
was like,
two big M's.
yeah,
That would rock.
No, for sure.
So we walk into this Dunkin', very small. We say, let's look at the electronic menu they have, and we'll just order from this kiosk.
First of all, also, the cups. You know, Starbucks sells cups. A lot of coffee shops sell cups. Dunkin', right off the bat, I see a cute little like silicone, like long cup, and it was $11.99, and I was like, wow. Instantly blowing prices out of the water, because that would have been $24 at Starbucks, right? Then there was also a fully silicone cup. They were like the silicone sipper,
where it's like if you squeezed it, it would crush. Like your drink would spurt out from the hole.
I don't know how they expect you to like twist the cap on. Either
No
way.
idea.
So we go to order. We go to the big kiosk.
Yep.
We're Josh and we're like, man, wouldn't it be great if Ben Affleck was like on the kiosk being like, try this. I love this. Instantly, we're getting excited because I see pretty quickly that they have a s'mores drink.
Yeah, so we're already, out of our depths from the normal coffee we're used to. We're looking at the different options. We eventually settle on the iced blueberry donut coffee.
We said, now, that intrigues us.
We said, now hold on. So we got that. And then we're poking around. We're looking
While
for
we're ordering
snacks. And then
we're just thinking,
oh my God. What the hell was that?
we both like fully jumped.
We're like,
what?
Oh my
on
God.
earth?
Must have just been a weird alarm or
Okay,
something.
yeah, that's weird. It must have been like the oven maybe turning on. So then we go back to order.
Happening again. Let's be clear, not coming out of the thing we're pressing. Somewhere back behind the counter.
It is also just louder than you could fathom. Mind you, nobody behind the counter flinching. Nobody moving. Nobody even like kind of looking at each other like,
We
Nothing.
find out it's clear eventually that it's a fire alarm.
Because
We're not
we look
told
up and
this till later, but it's clear that that's what the sound is.
Well, we see the fire alarm. The thing was
oh,
flashing.
yeah, it's going off, but only like one honk every like 30 seconds.
But then
maybe
sometimes
longer.
it would come on and it would like do
sporadic,
it like 3 at once.
random.
So another woman comes in behind us, and we are kind of like, I guess this is just how
World's
Dunkin'
had
rolls.
at this point.
Yeah. Woman comes in behind us. She hears it once, and she's like, "What
oh
on
my
earth?"
God.
And we were like, and Maddie and I are kind of like, "We're gonna get to bond with her real quick." This is pretty
Yeah.
fun." We're
This
like, yeah,
mom,
we've been hearing
not
it.
a Karen. I would say we need a word for women who aren't Karens, but like they're getting to a place and they're getting to the heart of the problem. Angie. Oh, that's really good. Because she came in and you best believe we knew she was going to be asking a manager what the hell that sound was.
We don't know if this girl was the manager, but she was the only woman in there. And I think because of that, she carried a certain air of like, I know what's going on. And she had caught in there when we get there. Imagine our surprise. You want to this is how the conversation went.
The woman walks from the back and the customer that had come in behind us asked the lady, she was like, what is that sound? Is that like a fake fire alarm? Like it's like
you
a
guys had a
test
test?
alarm? She goes, it's a test alarm. And the woman goes, it's real. In the most casual way
She goes,
possible.
it's real.
It's real. Huh? So
She
then
goes,
we go, what do you mean?
she
Well,
goes, well, there's smoke coming out of the ovens.
she's like, it's smoke. We don't know. So many
Coming out of the
answers
ovens.
unknown. Let's
Smoke
get
coming
to
out
the
of the
bottom of
oven.
this.
What do you mean? Does this happen every day?
Also, do we need to leave? Is there a fire
Are
in this
you
Dunkin'
guys
Donuts
safe?
right now?
How long has there been smoke coming out of the oven?
And the lady's like, oh, are you guys able to turn it off? And she was like,
Yeah, none of them seem to like care to really figure it out.
And this pitch was like brain rattling.
It was because it's a fire alarm.
Yeah. You know the chirp of those. They're loud.
So finally, like one of the guys, well, first of all, we got a little upset because Maddie goes to scout out the donuts. There's like none of the fun donuts there.
Literally just like the plain donuts. That's all they have.
None of the fun donuts. Also, real quick, with the iced coffee, as we're doing it on the kiosk, you know how it'll be like, oh, you can have pumps of flavor or like however many pumps. No. They, on the kiosk, it says under flavor, it says three donuts. No, yeah, donut. It said
Three
three
donut.
What do you mean 3 donuts?
3 donut. Melissa went to adjust it. I said, don't. We don't know what that's going to do. It was meant to have 3 donut. It's a 3
That's
donut,
what
3 cream.
We understand the cream thing because that implies like the packets maybe.
It's a perfect ratio.
And, well, first there was a little bit of sadness
I
because
think
Maddie...
it also said 3 blueberry.
Did it?
I'd say there was another thing. I'll check. I have the photo.
All I know is everything in there felt a little bit just wrong.
The chaos we were living with too was we had also decided to order a bag of bacon.
You know
that
they
you
sell
can
that
get?
there?
A bag of bacon.
Snacking, it was like snacking hot, sweet snacking bacon. And we were like,
They
we
are the people's
to know.
coffee shop.
Also, on the picture on the kiosk, and obviously it's never going to look like the picture on the kiosk.
Never.
It shows like a little paper bag
Almost
with
like
bacon
French fries, like breadsticks
bacon,
sticking
like,
out of the.
spreading out. We get it. It's just crumbled in the bottom. We
Crumbled
get it,
in
guys.
this little bag.
Okay, fine, yeah. We bought a bag of bacon at Dunkin'
Also,
Donuts.
it was hot honey bacon. So it's covered in this hot. That's the trend these days. I don't know if that's made it to the East Coast yet, but hot honey is very
Look out.
in right now. It's coming your way. And so that was on the bacon.
Yeah. Finally, though, we start leaving because they had none of the fun flavored donuts.
No.
Maddie tastes her coffee. She was a little bit up at first. It was a
I
little.
don't drink regular coffee. I've never finished a full cup of coffee other than lattes, except for Dunkin coffee because it's so sweet. Usually you can like literally drink it and you can taste the sugar. Like
there's
you
a
crunch
film
your
in your
teeth
mouth. Yeah.
and it's the sugar that they just put in. But they're a little inconsistent. This one is not as sweet as I'd like, which I know you'd think with 3 donut.
Yeah, 3 donut in that bad boy? They put 3 donuts in there.
They put 3 donut in there. But it's fine now. I'm pulling through. I'm brave.
Then as we're leaving, we're getting ready to go. We have ordered 2. They have these everything bagel bites with cream cheese in the middle, and we had our little bag of bacon and 2 cream cheese bites. As we're leaving, there is finally an employee opening the doors. Yeah. And it was like, guys, how long has this been going on? And I really do feel like that girl probably got there and was like, open the doors. Try anything. The way that Angie was ready to handle it. So we're leaving, and then we see them rolling out finally a cart of all the good donuts.
We said, well, they've been in that oven that was on fire.
We turn right around.
we
go
right
donuts. Back inside.
Barely any icing. Guys, we got the full Dunkin treatment is what we're saying, and we say that with a smile.
Yeah. Oh, and we'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
We're probably going to go back tomorrow.
We had this experience, and as we were standing there going brain numb, I was like, I can't wait till we get to come back here again. It was an adventure.
But then we get back, and I have had the everything bagel bites a couple of times. Maddie had not, so we were like, oh, this is so fun. We'll get to try it. Like, I'll try something new. They're cute. We bite into it, and it was a little, I'm tasting it, and I've had them 2 or 3 times at this point.
I hadn't.
We're eating them, and we're kind of like
scared.
We're kind of like, okay, like it's. I don't think like we should have probably had these when they were warm. It's.
We did wait a little bit.
The cream cheese had kind of chose it rather than being spread throughout the center. The cream cheese had kind of chosen its own body. Yeah, she was kind of like. So we eat them. We spread out. Like Maddie and I split up at that point, as in go to our rooms to get ready and put on our ties and everything. As I am finishing that everything bagel bite, I kind of just come to a conclusion. I finished my last bite. And I'm kind of like, I've had these a fair number of times, and this one does not taste right.
She yells that to me from her room. I said, they're not as small as you think they are. They're decent size. They're taking a few bites. And I was like
3 or 4 bites.
You didn't think to say that after bite 1 or bite 2?
I think it really wasn't until bite 3 when I was like, this don't feel that good, that I was kind of like, ooh, Maddie and I might be having an interesting day later.
Yeah, I said, we'll know in a couple hours. I said, don't worry, the blueberry iced coffee will flush it all out.
It's going to all cancel it out. So that was our little morning, and that was your little bonus.
That's your bonus. So anyway, do a favor for a friend. Be in your friends' lives. Be
Shove
family.
yourself into their lives.
Bye, pals.
Bye, pals.
Won't you be
my pal?
Bing, 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 bing. Bing, 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 bing.
Pals. Oh